Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to show everyone how to get basically an iMac, a MacBook Pro, Apple Watch, iPad, and let's go ahead and throw in an Apple phone too for $1,500 or less. Same cost as just one new system. These are going to be refurbished, but I'm going to show you how to do it to get into the Apple ecosystem, so stay tuned. Hey, what's going on? So if you guys are looking at me like I'm standing here against the wall, there's a reason for it. I'm moving, so I have almost nothing in my house right now. But at the end of the day, I do have a computer, so I'm going to go ahead and do some filming there as well. But what I wanted to do is make a video. I mean, a lot of people spend, sometimes, $2,500, $3,500 just on one Apple computer. And I'm going to show you today how to spend $1,500 and get 5 different devices in Apple, get into the Apple ecosystem with the newest OSs. So you're going to be running, on the newer OS, obviously, Catalina, on both your MacBook Pro and also your, let's say your iMac. And then, get a newer phone so it at least works fairly good. The Apple Watch, again, and then basically we'll top it off with an iPad, and you can get all that stuff for $1,500. So a lot of people think it's expensive to get into the ecosystem, but I'm going to show you today how to get 5 different devices for $1,500 or less. So let's get into it. All right, just kind of a disclaimer here. This is going to be refurbished stuff again, like I had said earlier. I mean, it can't be new, obviously. You can't buy a $3,500 computer for whatever, $500, but you can get into the Apple ecosystem. And if you think it's way too expensive, instead of spending $1,500 on a Dell computer, you can spend $1,500 and get 5 different things, maybe even a 6th thing if you really kind of, work it. So we'll kind of go through that, but I just want to let people know, these aren't going to be things you can go and get, because I'm going to show you, some of them will be from eBay and things that I trust, but other ones might be on Amazon. Long story short, it's going to be, something you have to work for, but it's just kind of opening people's eyes on what's available out there. So just want to put a disclaimer in there and let you know. Again, so the point of this is going to be, how can we get into Apple's ecosystem, the entire ecosystem, all 5 products. Maybe even you could eke out a 6th if you do this really well. I'm only going to go for 5 today, though. All 5 products for the price of maybe a small MacBook Pro, like a $1,500 low-end version of a new MacBook Pro. Can I get 5 different products for that? Let's do it right now, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's dive into it. The first product that we're going to go after is a watch. So let's say we want an Apple Watch. This first one is basically the Gen 3 or Series 3. This is the 42mm space gray aluminum. If you look at it here, it's $189 you can pick these up for. So again, do you need a brand new one? Do you need the newest version? Maybe not. This one should hopefully be sufficient. It has most of the features and things like that you may need. It's on sale right now. It used to be $229. But anyways, so let's kind of head and add this to the list here. You can kind of you can pick these up. Obviously, do a search on Amazon or eBay. I'm sorry, and you can find a million of these. This is a grade A functionality, and it's got a grade A, which means it's actually pretty good to look at as well. No scratches and stuff. So there's number 1. Put that in the books at $189 flats. So that's going to be $189 of our budget. Second thing we want to do is we want to get an iPad, but this time we're not going to go for just an iPad like you would see, like a really cheap one, just a normal iPad. We want to actually, in our ecosystem, we want to get an Apple iPad Pro 128GB space gray, which is right here. So if you look at this one's actually only $284.05. It's basically MLQ32LL/A. It's grade B. And it's got a warranty along with it as well. But this is going to be from a site that I like to use a lot. I'm not affiliated with them, meaning I don't get paid by them in any way. I just used some of their stuff before. But if you look down here, it says I sell iMac. I buy a lot of stuff from them. It seems to always be fairly good with what they say the cosmetic condition is and things like that. They don't try to, really get you on that kind of stuff. So long story short, $284. We're going for an iPad Pro 128 gig space gray, so it's not even the cheap version. You can go down here again. It's 2048 times 1536 the resolution, and it has everything you would expect. It's got the the faster processor in the Pro version. So that's number 2 on our list, $284.05. So let's keep going. Now we want to get a phone. Everyone needs a phone. So, here's another one. This is another one off of I Sell iMac. Now, these are going to change, obviously. These are just listings. These are one-off listings, but you can always do what I'm doing today and find these, different prices and do the exact same experiment. So here we are, an Apple Verizon iPhone X, and a 64 gig space gray, model number MQCK2LL/A. This is only a grade C. It's going to have fair cosmetic conditions, so it's going to have some little bit of scratching and stuff like that, but it's 100% fully functional, and these guys are pretty good usually. So this is $379.05. So for $379.05, we can pick up an iPhone X. Beats paying over, like $1,000 or something, or $800 to $1,000 for one. You get 5% off if you do a couple other things and jump through some hoops and stuff. But anyways, comes with the 60-day warranty. Conditions normal. And again, I went through the model number there. and it has the cord comes with it and the power brick as well. So you get everything there. And again, put that in the books at $379.05. All right, so let's keep going here. So we basically have our watch, an iPad Pro, and a really nice iPhone X phone. So what do we need now? Now we need a desktop and we need a laptop to kind of do the holy grail of 5 things for $1,500 and tell people, Apple doesn't have to be that expensive. So next one up. Now the reason I chose this is going to be an iMac. It's a 21.5-inch 2013 iMac right here. It's got an i5, 1 terabyte, and I have a lot of videos, tons of videos on how to actually run this off of an external SSD and plug it into this and actually run the OS off of that and make this way faster without even opening this up. So you don't even have to open it up. You can do that. Just check out my other videos. Long story short, that this has 8 gigs of RAM, and the i5 is sufficient for this. $323. So again, these are like well over $1,000 if you buy them new. Here's $323, and the reason I chose a 2013 here is because, long story short, you can still run Catalina, run the newest OSs. You can do everything you want to do. The Apple experience doesn't change much at all. You buy a new one, and it's going to be almost exactly the same as this one. If you buy this, the same drive and stuff like that. If you add that SSD that's external to boot the OS off of on my other videos, this will be just as fast as a brand new one. The OS is exactly the same. It looks exactly the same. I mean, you can't even tell. I mean, more or less, unless you're really a huge power user. If you're just doing basic like 1080p video editing and stuff like that, you can't tell. Again, 8 gigs of RAM, i5. It's got the 1.5 gigabyte Intel Iris Pro for the actual graphics card. 60 days, again, warranty on this, and it has, it just says power cord. It's got a new power cord. So cosmetic grade is an A, which means it's going to be flawless. So this will look brand new as well. No functional issues. $323 for something that's going to basically appear exactly like it's brand new. So there we go with that. Let's put that in the books and let's go. And how are we going to get to all these under $1,500? I'll add them up at the end, so stay tuned. Last one here is, again, 2013 MacBook Pro Retina 13, 2.4 gigahertz i5, 250 gigabyte SSD, 8 gigs of RAM. This is only a grade C, but look at this thing, $331.55. So $331.55, amazing. And long story short, I went with the 2013 again, where it can run Catalina just fine on it. It's got the Retina display, which I'll get into in a second. It's 13 inch, it's 2.4. The i5 runs very smooth. It's got a 256 gig SSD and 8 gigs of RAM, so you can do all basic, 1080p video editing. You can pretty much do everything you can. Again, it's gonna be exactly the same as it would be on some of the newer versions. The experience will be very similar to what you get there because you're running the exact same OS. Health conditions normal. I mean, sometimes you have to worry about some batteries on these things, and you can call them sometimes and find out what how many cycles they have and stuff. Sometimes they list them in these listings, but when it says health condition normal, they usually sell them with pretty low cycles on the battery. But everything else, if you look at this system, is perfect. So, and the reason I chose this version over like a 2015 or something, even though those are more expensive, is because you get the better keyboard and you're not going to run into those keyboard problems at all either. So let's go ahead and add this up and see if we actually did it. That's 5 different things, 5 different things that we have. Go ahead and close some things out here. 5 different things for the price of more or less one thing, or one really small thing from Apple. So let's go ahead and look at the numbers here. Here they come up. And you can see if we add all these numbers together here, and drum roll, I missed it by $6. I could have made it, but anyways, I made a little mistake there. But an Apple Watch, Apple iPad Pro, Apple iPhone X, Apple iMac 21.5 inch, and Apple MacBook Pro, all for right around $6 over, but $1,500. That's amazing. I mean, basically for the cost that you would actually pay for just one low-end system right now, a newer Apple system, you can get all 5, have everything you need to have in the ecosystem, and everything will work just fine for you. So just wanted to show people that it doesn't have to always be that expensive. Alrighty, so what did you think? Not too bad, huh? So you can do it. It's not too bad, and you can do everything for about $1,500 or less. I mean, I was pretty shocked that you can get into there and run, the newest OSs and things like that. So next time you hear someone say that Apple's too expensive or what have you, it doesn't have to be. I mean, I'm a master of buying like basically stuff that's a little bit cheaper like this and just kind of using it a few years and then just reselling it. Resale value on this stuff stays up really high, so you could buy something for $500 and sell it for $300-$400, a couple years later. So it's a great, great value and things like that. Just, obviously it's super good value. Anyways, I make videos. Please subscribe to my channel. I make videos on Apple, as you can see. A bunch of PC stuff, like I just did a Walmart computer and things like that. Investing, travel, did a Munich video. I love going to Germany and Europe and stuff like that. So anyways, let me know your thoughts, post some comments, but please give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks a bunch. Peace.